You stay in the ACC for another Heisman finalist, and that is DeShaun Watson, who placed third in last year's Heisman race, and it doesn't hurt that he did win that head-to-head matchup with Lamar Jackson. But with Watson, and we could be saying this about Lamar Jackson next year, but Watson, unlike last year, didn't run as much. He rushed for, I think, less than half of his total from a year ago, but 529 on the ground. And you mentioned RG3. You got to think about the long-term future too. Not taking too many pops, going for runs. But he is an ACC champion.
Well, I mean, how many times too early in this season did you find ourselves saying about DeShaun Watson and hearing about this player? What's wrong with him? Yeah. Is he pressing? What's going on?
He had to apologize.
Where are the numbers? And he literally, like you said, he actually apologized after a game to his teammates and whatnot for that he was pressing too much. Now, he got over that, obviously, because in the second half of the year, he started playing like DeShaun Watson.
Yeah, he went off the second half in this last ball game, the ACC championship game. He looked like the DeShaun Watson of old, 89 yards on the ground. That's what we had become accustomed to. He's a tough character. Remember he played with that ACL his freshman year? He lobbied to go back in the game versus South Carolina, and Dabo Swinney, head coach, said, okay, son, and they ended up winning that ball game. So he's a tough customer. I don't know if it was the offensive line. I hate to keep picking on the offensive line. I just mentioned them in defense of Lamar Jackson, but they didn't play as well up front. They didn't run the rock as well this year as they did a season ago.
The running game was the key.
Right.
He was only sacked 14 times. So it's not like he was totally under siege all the time. Yeah. But Gallman and the running game wasn't what it was last year.
And you look at just the way he was throwing the football. You mentioned we were both talking about Lamar Jackson trying to do too much, playing hero ball. That really wasn't DeShaun Watson's problem. I mean, he was missing a lot of throws, like wide open throws. So, yeah, what is wrong with him? 15 interceptions? 15 interceptions. If he does win the Heisman Trophy, he'll be the first quarterback since Ty Detmer in 1990 to throw for that many interceptions. And he only had 13 last year. Yeah. So you would think, last year, maybe he had 7. No, he still had 13. But again, forcing passes when he should. This is a quarterback where you think, listen, I've seen it all. So I'm not going to get tricked. You're not going to fool me. I'm not going to throw into double coverage. And I'm definitely not going to overthrow one of my best wide receivers. A lot of aw shucks, maybe next time. But it definitely left you kind of shaking your head with him, especially since he had such great numbers as a sophomore.